Welcome back to Tiny Grimes Games, and I'm here with another Star Wars Destiny video. And unlike the last few videos, we have some positive, fun news today. We have some new spoilers from the Way of the Force, and we've got Koon. He is a pretty big player in the Clone Wars animated series, so let's take a look at what his card looks like. I'm really excited by this guy, actually. He's only 11-14, so as soon as you see that, you start going, oh, okay, we got some points to deal with. And his ability says, this character has the abilities of each non-unique character you have in play, which essentially says, I'm probably going to run him at Elite with 2 8-point non-unique characters. So he's either picking up 2 abilities or really picking up 1 ability, which really has me pretty excited. His health at 10 is fine for that cost. I'm happy about that. His sides, while not amazing, are pretty darn solid. A 1 and a 2 and a focus at 10 is not that bad. So it's really, I think, for him, it's going to come down to he's not amazing, but if we can find some really great synergies, he could potentially move closer to be amazing. So I've got here a little list of a couple of cards I thought might be good. That's probably incredibly noisy. Alright, let's see. First, Clone Trooper. Clone Trooper could be really good in some sort of dice-fixing, re-rolling deck. So the Clone Trooper would give him the ability, after you activate this character, you may re-roll this die, or if you control the battlefield, you may re-roll one of your character dice. So essentially, for Plo and each of the Clone Troopers, whenever you rolled them out, you'd be re-rolling their dice. So it would give you a lot of free re-rolls, and then combined with his Starfighter, which we'll look at in a moment, that gives you even more dice fixing. So it kind of reminds me of like a Kylo 2 Mother Talzin deck a bit, without the explosiveness of it, but with a lot of consistency with all these re-rolling. I think that could be pretty strong. You get 3 characters, you get 26 hit points. That's pretty good. I'm not sure it's amazing, but it's certainly pretty good. Another possibility, a little less exciting, but what about 2 Jedi Partisans? With that lineup, you'd have 3 times of resolve an indirect, boom, 3 cards off the top. Now, if Plo had a discard side on him, I would think that's actually a really legit deck. He doesn't, so my guess is that probably isn't going to be the best incarnation of Mill, but it's just something that jumped out at me as a possibility. Another really exciting one to me is either with 1 Padawan or 2, I'd be kind of tempted just to say 1, and then instead of having to put that weapon immediately on the Padawan, you could stick it on Plo and be just rolling 3 dice. You can still do it to the Padawan as well. And so instead of having like turn 1, 2 weapons on vulnerable Padawans, you could have 2 weapons, 1 on Plo, 1 on a Padawan. That feels kind of scary. And then if you couple it maybe with a character with Guardian, you end up having Plo with Guardian and his ability, and the Padawan ability, so he's got Guardian and reduced weapon cost. That, to me, just some incarnation of Padawan has me very excited, because that is a lot of melee sides, giving you an incredible amount of consistency, early weapons for cheap. It almost feels like a profitable connections kind of deck because of the extra resources you're saving. So that's really exciting to me. And I wonder if that's going to be like the initial jump-off point. I won't be surprised if it is. Like I just said, Guardian is another one, whether that be Rebel Trooper or the Jedi Temple Guard. I'd probably lean towards the Guard just to get the melee. But, you know, I mean, getting a red card in there, that could really shake things up, giving you, I don't know, whatever it is you want. Who knows what's going to be in the next set, right? That's the funny thing. All of these, any predictions about what character is going to be good with him, there might be somebody totally busted, like an Ayla level cheap guy that's non-unique with some awesome ability, you know, something that you just go, oh my goodness, this is insane. I feel like right now there are several reasonable options, and kind of depending on the weapons, could move up to really good. I don't think there's like a meta-breaking deck in here, but all they need is an 8-cost character with a really good ability. Just the fact that you can give him Guardian is pretty cool. Like, I really like the idea of him, a Padawan, and a Guardian, so that you now have two Guardians, keeping the Padawan alive, potentially keeping Plo alive, keeping that Guardian. Like, you use Guardian on the cheap Guardian, and then you turn around and use it on Plo, and they're like, who am I killing? Too many guys have Guardians. I feel like that's going to be strong. I'm pretty excited about it. So Plo, to me, is pretty exciting. And then when you combine him with this Starfighter, the Starfighter is flat bad and like unplayable in just a, hey, I want a Starfighter. No, you're not going to use this. But in the right deck, it's promising. After you activate it, you may turn one of your non-unique characters' dice to any side. If Plo's in the deck, you resolve that die. So, I mean, I think you want to do this with Plo, right? But if you do it with Plo, you get this opportunity, you know, say you roll this in, you flip your Padawan to the 2 melee, and boom, you resolve it. Like, that's pretty strong. That is even better than Talzin dice fixing. The problem is you have to find the Starfighter, then you have to pay the 3 to get it out. Its actual dice side, I'm not happy about them. If that was a 2 and a 2 or a 2 and a 3 without a pay side, I'd be much more excited about the dice, but it's really that ability, and I don't know that ability is actually good enough to see play even with Plo, but I tend to think it is. Anything that lets you flip a die to a side and resolve it is super strong. I'm actually glad it says non-unique, because there's too many really good unique sides that you could combo with this that would be scary. The non-uniques tend to not have giant sides. Like, yes, you could do a hired gun for 3, but then you got to pay 1 to do it. And maybe that's the way you want to do it even. But then that doesn't combo well with Plo because it doesn't have an ability. So I feel like this has enough limitations where it frankly might not even be good. But it's certainly one of those cards that has me at least thinking, right? Like, is this actually good? Like, it's just good enough where I'm going to try it, but it's not like over the curve power creep where you just look at it and go, wow, I can't believe they made this. Like, this is a must play. So these are the kind of cards that are my favorite from like a design perspective, is just looking at them and going, I wonder if it's playable. Like, it might be in the right deck. So bottom line is, Plo and his fighter are not overpowered. They're just really interestingly designed decks that with the right synergy, it's either going to be a pretty good deck or it's just going to be terrible. Like, I don't feel like there's a lot of middle ground here. There's either a character that's good enough to push it to be really good, or there's not. But either way, I'm excited. Having an 11-14 with reasonable sides, to me, is always a good character to have. It's good to have in the game. So I'm happy about Plo, and let me know what you think. Do you see a combination that I missed? Or is one of the combinations I mentioned actually better than I thought it was, and this is just a ridiculously good card? Curious to hear what you think. I'll see you next time on Time to Grab Games.